What's going on, guys? It is season 66, first episode back for SML Countdown. Got AJ, got Straw back. Both you guys made the playoffs. AJ, not for very long. Straw, you got your first game coming up. How's everybody doing tonight?
Feeling good, I'm excited. Got to watch some good SML playoff action, and yeah, I'm ready to get mine in.
Speaking of
I'm
yours,
doing
you've got
well.
Dom, right?
Glad to be back.
I think Straw plays
Yeah.
Dom. Are you guys gonna play that game? I know he's going out of town.
Oh, I will try. I'm gonna try my best. So if I'll probably try to message him right after this and see what his timing is looking like. But I'll try my best to play him.
Yeah, otherwise that may be a free NFC Championship game for you.
That would suck. I hope Dom and I always play great games.
That'd be a fun one to watch. All right, so let's jump right into the topics. We've got three topics. First one is going to be season one impressions of Madden 25, just kind of the game. What do you guys think of the game? You know, we're coming off of that long cycle with 24 where we played 9 seasons. AJ, what is your first season one impressions?
Yeah, I don't really know. I like the game better. It's hard to pinpoint why I like the game better. Um, I feel like the meta is not super abused yet, and maybe that's just because nobody knows what it is. But it felt like passing was easier, but then after the last patch, even though I don't really know exactly what it did, Dan seems to be the only one in the whole bad
Yeah,
community that knows what it did. But it does seem like passing the windows are a little tighter than they were uh, beginning the cycle. I mean, I like that they're adjusting things. Defense seems to have been improved. Um, QB play is way better. I know I'm playing with a better QB than I ever did last cycle, but the game just feels better in my opinion. There's some goofy animation stuff that they need to figure out, and maybe they won't figure that out, and we'll just have to deal with it the whole cycle. But other than that, I like the game as a whole.
all right, Straw, what do you think?
Yeah, Meets and I were talking about this earlier too, but I think I'm also in the minority where I generally just like the new Madden games every year, even though I'm a part of the people complaining and like, I wish this and oh man, that sucks. But I've kind of gotten used to just chalking EA and Madden up to like I kind of expect this. And so I'd say for this game, I really enjoy it. I think the beginning of a Madden season, I always really like it because everyone is still figuring it out.
Yeah,
There's no metas. You see so many people playing completely different, which is a lot of fun, a lot of adjustments, and people having to like literally adjust on the fly to what someone's doing. And I think that's a lot of fun versus like everyone doing the meta or doing the same things and it's like, okay, they're gonna pick this, so let me make sure I'm in that. So I always think that's fun. I um I think that the run game being sort of reeled in a little bit has been nice.
yeah.
There's still some big plays that get made, but it doesn't feel like it's super easy to just bust a run and score and stuff. And so I like that. So overall, I'll say I've liked the game. I've liked the game so far. I've enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll see. The trying to patch games is always interesting because you're like, oh, this is good, and I'm used to it. And then they fix a bunch of things, and it's a completely different game. So we'll see what they end up doing to it in a couple of months.
Yeah, exactly. It always seems to end up pretty close to the last iteration of Madden. Um, but I mean, think about it. If they came out and Madden 25 was perfect, think about how disappointed we'd be in Madden 26 when we got the same old thing that we normally get. So this is at least gives us hope for a season that something will be better. But so, what's your biggest surprise of season one? If there are any, do you even have any surprises, Straw?
You know what? As I look at it, there was there was no like super huge surprises. I mean, I think the thing that I might say is maybe Torque leaving us. I
Yeah,
was like, oh no. But if I look at like gameplay and records, and I was trying to go through, and I'm like, man, this kind of seemed like how things would go. I think the only person who I thought with that team might have done a little bit better would have been Meats.
yeah.
I would have expected him to have a better record than where he's sitting, but besides that, I was kind of looking through and I was like, yeah, this is kind of what I expected of the season. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be as much competition as it was last Madden. It looks like the people who are usually on top are kind of on top. So
Yeah, the only thing with Meats is he did, I think, have 5 forced losses. So
ah,
that probably played a part. But I would have thought he would have done better even with those and that Dolphins team. What about you, AJ? Any surprises?
Yeah, I'd say during the team draft, we coined one division, a weenie head division, and that is um,
Yeah.
the NFC West. And we had 2 teams make the playoffs from that division. Almost had 3 teams make the playoffs from that
Yep.
division. So, the AFC can continue to call them Winnie Hut, but I don't think the NFC can because they're making up a big part of the NFC playoffs right now.
That NFC South may have actually taken over that title with Dom won the division at 8-9. Um,
Yeah,
so
can't argue the stats.
yeah, that'd be a tough one. They definitely put up a fight for Weenie Hut. I thought my biggest surprise was QB. QB took the Bengals and he ended up with a losing record. Played all his games and still couldn't get a winning record. I would have thought QB Stud would have had a lot better season one. Um,
Rough division,
yeah, it
I
is a
will say.
rough division. But so we talked about season one. What about the rest of the cycle? What do you think? Kind of an overarching theme of the rest of the cycle. Maybe somebody that's going to do something or somebody that's not. AJ, what do you think?
I think AFC, you're gonna have the same 5 guys in the playoffs every time. That 6 and 7 seed is just gonna flip flop every year. You're gonna cycle through another 5 guys maybe for that 2 seeds. NFC, I think, is gonna be a revolving door. It's gonna be, you're gonna have straw in the playoffs every year likely and dump. But other than that, I think you're gonna see some guys make the playoffs that we're not accustomed to seeing in the past couple of Maddens, and I think it's gonna make for a fun year for the NFC. Get some new blood in the playoffs, which is always it's kind of boring watching the same guys over and over and over again. So I think that's good for the league.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. What do you think, Straw?
Yeah, I think right now, until in I think right now, if you're a better passer, is sort of how you're kind of standing out, in my opinion. I think seeing the run game and how the run game develops, people being able to, everybody kind of getting better backs, which generally happens as
Yeah.
people start to build teams and draft and stuff. And it'll be interesting to see how the run games develop more. And maybe some more of that parity starts to come back in with people being able to develop that run game. Because obviously, if you can run, then that sets up everything else. But I think right now, early on, where we might see some of the better passers up there, and as people get better running backs through drafts and development, it'll be interesting to start seeing who kind of pops to the top, and then seeing what kind of patches come in to help with defense because that already typically happens. And I think they've already tried to patch like the corner routes
Yep.
because maybe they were being hit too often, and now you see more picks happening there. So it'll be interesting to see as that run game kind of gets back in there and people get better running backs who starts to bubble to the top.
Yeah, and I think if I remember right, at least the last one, maybe two Maddens, I've heard people complain about, oh, the running's too tough, and eventually people either figure it out or they make it easier, and it definitely gets back to, like you just said, last topic. It gets back to where every other Madden is. Um,
Well, you can dev O line now, so
yeah,
in theory, it should get better across the board. You'll have better O line and you'll have better running backs throughout the cycle.
yeah, and
So
you may not
we'll
have to
see how
pay
it
him $20 million
works out.
a year, so you actually have
Yeah.
good offensive linemen instead of like
Yeah.
90s sitting in free agency because nobody wants to pay
Yeah.
him. All right, so let's jump to our top plays, and since this is our first episode of the season, we just opened up the entire season to top plays. And AJ, you want to go ahead and describe your top play, this one you picked?
Yeah, so I had to give Matt credit here because he fooled me. And it's not it was a great play by him, but like it's where his linebacker started on the play and me looking at every receiver and realizing this is bottled. Let me dump it off. And somehow he got to it. And I know that linebacker I think is like 91 speed or something, but it's just a really good play. Blew the game wide open. Got me flustered early. Just typical Matt user lurk. He's one of the few guys I've ever seen really like take the middle linebacker and cover the halfback in the flat. So I
Yeah,
know he
what's
says he
funny
doesn't do
is
it work.
you can't hear it right now, because I didn't clip it with the sound. But QB is just giving you hell for doing exactly what he told you not to on that clip.
Yeah. I told myself not to going in the game. I was like, just can't throw him the ball. I'm gonna be conservative, and then what do? Throw the ball 3 times to him. So
Yep. All right, Straw. What about your play? What'd you go with?
Yep. So this is one thing that I just don't think that they all ever really figure out in Madden's in figuring out the defense and them not covering grass. And this is exactly that. That's safety all the way over there. Like that guy's already covered. Somebody's coming over into your zone and they just choose to just completely cover grass. I mean, it's a great read by Paulie to be able to see that and hit that for the touchdown, really to win the game there. But you just would hope that that safety sees that guy and that happens a little bit differently there from the defense. But great play and absolutely insane for the game to go that way.
Yeah, I know Torque was really unhappy about that one, and I think even AJ had a little bit of PTSD after watching that one
Dude,
from the cycle
you can
prior.
call me conspiracy theory, but you can put my tin hat on. But Paulie knows something about Hail Marys, and you won't convince me otherwise.
All right, so you guys went with offensive plays. I actually went with a defensive play. I went with KP here. It looks like Tiny's about to score, and he gets the user strip into the end zone, gets the touchback. Um, not only stops the touchdown, but even gets the ball back. I thought this was, I mean, it just looks perfectly timed. It's not like one of those tackle battles where the ball just comes out. I mean, you can see him wind up, see 100 chicken wings a game, but one of them finally did something, and I guess maybe this is why people do it all the time. All right, so that's my top play. That's our top plays for, I guess, this season, going into which should be a fun off season. But don't forget to vote in the comments on which play you think is the top play. And now we've got a new segment we're gonna go to, and this is our hot takes. So we'll have some hot takes for the next season. And Straw, this was kind of your idea, so we'll let you get us let off here. What's your hot take for next season?
Yeah, I was going through it. I was telling AJ this earlier. I was like, "Oh man, what's gonna be my hot take?" I decided to go with something that I definitely think could be a hot take, seeing as to how strong that AFC is and how strong those top contenders are. And so I decided to go with the team who I think is going to dominate in the AFC next season. And this is with knowing those top guys are there. I think this guy is going to set it off. He has a great young team to build around, and he does really great at building teams. He had a great cycle last season, and a lot of it was built around, hey, this guy has set feet lead. This guy has set feet lead. Could he do it without it? He's in the playoffs now and has a chance to show he could do something, but I think next season he's going to be the top dog and take his way to the Super Bowl with knowing how to build a team and building around Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Sauce Gardner. I think Doink is going to go around and have like a 15-2 record, completely dominate the AFC, and have the Jets establishing themselves as a powerhouse. And that's going to be over Colts, Chiefs, Steelers, all those guys that are at the top right now. And I think he's going to surprise us. That's my hot take.
All right, here's a follow up on that hot take with who's going to be his quarterback.
Yeah, I think he's gonna find a quarterback. I think he's gonna find a quarterback. It's not gonna be Aaron Rodgers. It's gonna be some, and that's what's gonna be so interesting about it. You know, he's gonna show that he can do it with anybody.
Yeah, I think that's a good hot take. I
Defense.
think you might be a season off, but I think that's a good
The
one.
defense is good, man.
Yeah,
You can play a lot of man and press with those corners and really give people trouble. You never know.
yeah. All right, AJ, what's your hot take?
Maybe not too scorching hot because it's a guy that's been in the mix a few times, but I think Dom's going to get his first Zimbardi this cycle. I think he's going to be a regular for the playoffs when he's in town. Um, and once that Saints teams comes along, this is the kind of cycle where you're going to see Dom play really well. He plays a kind of style that can give people problems in the playoffs. I think he just won his first round already with the team that's under 500. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Dom in a weaker NFC. I'm not going to say they're weak, but lesser teams, and seems like the AFC's got most of the elite players. But um, I think we're going to see Dom get us some Barty. All he's got to do is get to the championship game, and after that, it's just one game, and I think he's got the style to do it.
All right, so I'll go with my hot take. I'm gonna say T Steel and the Vikings win the NFC North next season. I think he ends up ahead of Dump, ahead of KP, and I mean, who's not ahead of Fig? So I think I got T Steele. He's going to get a good draft pick this year. He's going to add to that team. JJ McCarthy with another year of development. He's got some pieces. You see what he's doing with hell, I don't even know the running back's name. I just know it's Ty something. Ty Johnson, Ty, who knows? Ty somebody. And I think he's going to end up, I don't know, we'll say 14-3. I think he's going to end up like 14-3. He's going to win that division. And that's about as hot a take as I think I can make.
He was pretty wildly inconsistent this season. He's beat some guys you wouldn't think he'd beat, and he lost to some guys that he shouldn't have lost to. So usually those are the kind of guys that when they put it together, they start stringing some wins together. So you never know.
He was a pretty consistent primer playoff team. Would even make some deep playoff runs, and now he's going to have the third place schedule in the NFC, which is basically playing a bunch of Gilberts. So I think he's going to be pretty good. All right, so I think that take got hot enough. I think that's probably a good spot to end it. This episode a little bit shorter than usual. The new segment was a little short, but I think it's a good one to lead into this cycle, and I think these playoffs are going to be fun. Straw, best of luck against D-Muse. Hopefully you guys do get it in because I think that'll be a fun game. But
yeah, it looks like he's already sending me some time, so I think we're going to be good.
That's good. Cool. Looking forward to it. Maybe I'll get on the commentary, but thanks for watching, guys. Remember to vote on your top play, and this has been SML Countdown.